Let's get to one of my personal highlights of the Sim Racing Expo 2019. I had my camera positioned behind the Porsche Cup Car Simulator to get some B-roll for my Sim Racing Expo videos, when a larger group of people in Phoenix racing wear appeared around me and kinda ruined the shot. However, my frustration quickly faded once I realized that Kelvin van der Linde with them, driver for Audi Sport in the Blancpain GT series. He proceeded to climb into the car for a quick run around the Nürburgring GP track in R-Factor 2. If you want to see his lap, stick around to the end of this video. But I realized that's probably not what you're here for. Once Kelvin got out of the car, I was able to pull him aside for a quick interview about a professional racing driver's perspective on sim racing. Due to the surprising nature of the situation, I didn't have any questions prepared, but I believe I was able to get some interesting insights nonetheless. With that said, let's get into it.
Hey guys, I'm here with Kelvin van der Linde, professional racing driver. What's your team?
I'm currently with Audi Sport, customer racing, so we do a lot of the endurance races around the world, Intercontinental GT, 20,000 Nürburgring and Spa, so yeah, it's a busy season.
You just had a go in this Porsche simulator with the 911 Cup car, no, it's the GT3 here, right?
Yeah.
What were your impressions?
I was really surprised how realistic it was. Normally I'm not a big fan of movement rigs, but this time with a D-box system attached directly to the seat, I was really impressed. Very small but precise movements, which we need as a driver. And yeah, I was completely surprised by the whole experience.
Yeah, and you complained a little bit about the understeer in the car. We saw you go off track a little bit, but I guess that's a setting thing, right?
I think that's a Porsche thing. Normally a Porsche is understeering a bit more, but I was never really that fast in a Porsche, so maybe I need to practice a bit more in the sim.
Do you use a simulator to train at home as well?
I'm very nerd when it comes to sim racing. I have my own simulator set up at home.
Yeah.
So I have my pedal boxes and my direct drive wheel. So
what kind of hardware do you use at home?
I'm using a SimuCube Pro base with Precision Sim wheel. And then I use the SimTag hydraulic pedals, which I've been really happy with.
They are great. I think I had a go with them earlier. Pretty great pedals.
They're really good, nice feeling, like all the hydraulic pedals.
Yeah, but you don't have a motion rig at home?
No, I don't. For me, I mean, at the end it's still a home simulator, so I haven't really taken it to the next level. But having played now with the D-box stuff, I have to say maybe I need to invest a little bit.
I'm also curious to find out how it really feels in the car, because I mean motion rigs can go one way or the other. It can be.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, sometimes you have these big motion rig structures and they move a lot, and maybe it's for the fans very extreme and cool to see, but for a real driver it's too much, and we prefer to have much less movement but precise movement.
And do you also have a sim rig that the team has, and that where you train in for the races and do setup work?
Yeah, so all the race teams are really moving to the sim racing world now.
Yeah.
We're actually here now discussing a future option for one of our teams to take one of these sims on in their workshop and develop their own sim for our race cars. So definitely the real world is moving closer and closer towards the sim world, and it's an exciting future, I think.
Okay, can you tell us a little bit about what kind of simulator you use for your team or within your team?
So most of the teams are using R-Factor Pro, which is actually not open to public. They actually adjust in all the physics themselves according to the real-life data that they have. I'm personally a big fan of the iRacing software because it has a lot of the GT content which I race, so that's very important for me. They have the laser scanned racetracks, so this I use a lot at home. Obviously I don't have access to R-Factor Pro, but I do know that a lot of the race teams use it.
And did you already have a go in Assetto Corsa Competizione?
Yes, I had a go. It's cool obviously to have my own race car and everything in there. They've done a great job with the graphics. The look of the game is incredible, and also the feeling is good. I just have to say that I'm missing a little bit the online play, which is I think still the benchmark is still iRacing that point of view. But who knows, in the future maybe they up their game there and we have a good software.
And with respect to how it feels compared to the real car, can you make a comment on RF2, on iRacing, and on Assetto Corsa maybe Competizione in comparison to the real car? Is there like a big difference, or how close is it to the real thing?
Well, I think it always depends what hardware you have. So if you have the hydraulic pedals, the direct drive wheel, then you always feel it a bit different to if we're on an expo with a wheel that's not direct drive. But from my point of view, I really like iRacing feeling-wise. I like a set of Corsa for the graphics, and I think R-Factor is nice because you can adjust the physics yourself. So that, you know, every software has its own advantages, and that's why every team, and also myself, we play the different games depending on what we're trying to achieve. If I want to learn a racetrack, I go to iRacing for the laser scan stuff. If I want to have an accurate feeling model, I go to R-Factor because we can adjust it. And then Assetto Corsa is just nice because it's optically very realistic.
Last question, in terms of hardware in the simulator that the teams have, what kind of stuff is it? Is it like, we could imagine like huge Formula 1 style motion simulator where the whole room moves basically? Is it like that, or what kind of simulator
Well, I know
do you use?
that at Audi and BMW for their Formula E and DTM programs, they have a sim that's on the level of Formula 1, so on the level of the Red Bull Formula 1. It's a massive platform with very big motion rigs. They obviously fine-tune, and they have a full team just working on the simulator, developing the software, you know, the motion rig, trying to get it very accurate, especially on the Formula E side, because Formula E is all about software development in the real life as well. So it gets even closer to the simulator. If I compare it to the GT3 teams, we're still a little bit behind. We don't have the very detailed motion rigs yet, but we have a very good baseline in terms of pedals, direct drive wheels. That we've got sorted out. We just need to obviously make the next step now to try and develop our motion rigs to be accurate for the real life.
Yeah. All right, Kelvin van der Linde, thank you so much for this interview. Very spontaneous, but very cool of you. All the best for your racing endeavors. And yeah, I'll be rooting for you in the next races.
Cool. See you soon,
man.
Thank you very much, man. Cool, mate.
So there you have it. Sim racing is getting bigger and bigger, and even among professional drivers, it's not just Max and Lando who enjoy the occasional online race. That being said, Kelvin is actually part of Team Redline, the team that also includes the two previously mentioned F1 drivers and a few more of the world's fastest sim racers. The lap you're about to see is without sounds, since the speakers were located inside the car and barely audible outside of it. Fun fact, later that day I got a chance to drive the Porsche Cup Car Simulator myself, and I beat Kelvin's time by about 2 seconds. Admittedly, I did get 3 flying laps compared to only 1 for Kelvin, and managed to keep it out of the kitty litter, but I have to admit I'm a little proud of that achievement nonetheless. Anyway, let's check out the rest of his lap. And that'll be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I have a few more Sim Racing Expo videos lined up before I get back to my regular content, so stay tuned. I hope you have a wonderful day and see you in the next video.